In the morning, my son and I went hiking in the rainforest. My son noticed some unusual activity up in the tree. He said, "Dad, hurry, take a look. There's something moving inside the tree hollow." It turned out to be some tree frog tadpoles. Only tree frogs would lay eggs in such a high place. As we were about to leave, my son said, "This tree hollow is almost drying up, and once the water is gone, the tadpoles will die of thirst. I want to take them home and raise them." Seeing the longing gaze of my son, I couldn't refuse. Bringing the tadpoles home, I wasn't sure if I could successfully nurture them. After settling the tadpoles, it's time to start designing their home. Let's start with a hand-drawn sketch. Firstly, the tree frogs must have something to climb on, so the vertical height of the vivarium needs to be sufficiently tall. Secondly, since tadpoles live in water, we need to design a small pond. Finally, tree frogs like to lay their eggs on vines or leaves near the pond, so we need to design some egg-laying spots near the pond. Now, let's start the design work. On the 3D modeling software, add some texture to simulate the real material, and take a look at the overall appearance of the rainforest vivarium. The base is made of marble, while the upper part of the tank is made of glass. First, let's start by constructing the wooden frame. Use nails to join the wood together. Use some steel brackets to reinforce the frame. The basic frame is completed. Now I'm starting to make the frame for the cabinet door. The reason for designing the base to be openable is that I need to hide the water tank, pump, and other equipment inside. The movable cabinet doors facilitate maintenance and water refilling. Now, let's start installing the cabinet door hinges. The wooden frame is completed successfully. Next, I'll proceed to work on processing the marble base. After testing, the wooden structure isn't strong enough, so it will be removed. This slab of panda white marble looks perfect. Let's go with it. The first step is to cut the stone into suitable sizes. Polishing the surface of marble for easier processing. Cutting at a 45-degree angle to facilitate bonding. Cut a groove to support the bottom marble slab of the vivarium. Then proceed with making the marble cabinet door. This step involves bonding all the marble pieces together, which is the most critical step. After removing excess glue, the next step is to bond the marble cabinet doors. Finally, polish the edges of the marble base to smoothness, and it's done. Don't forget to clean it afterward. Now, let's start bonding the glass components. Don't forget to use aquarium-specific silicone sealant, which is completely safe for animals. I use tape to help hold the glass in place. Let it cure for at least 72 hours. While waiting for the silicone sealant to cure, I start making the base for the tree trunk. Let's mark the position for the tree trunk. Carve a suitable hole in the foam board for the base of the tree trunk. try positioning it in slightly different places. Next, fit the accessories for the glass door. I'm installing the fittings on the top of the vivarium. Remember the pond I talked about earlier? The tree frog tadpoles prefer to live in shallow water, so the pond doesn't need to be too deep. Unexpectedly, the bearings of the door failed to operate properly. I need to redesign this component. Let's 3D print it. Continue installing the glass door. The top of the vivarium is equipped with a magnetic mesh screen, allowing for ventilation and transparency. After installing the drainage valve, I conduct the water tightness test. Next, install the sprinkler system. Install the lighting and test it. Install the fan and test it. Sprinkler system test. It looks like everything is going smoothly. The bottom layer of the vivarium is a drainage layer. On top of the drainage layer, lay a permeable material. I use non-woven fabric here. I mix ABG mix with my sand to plant the vegetation. Ingredients: 1 part soil base, 1 part fine bark, 2 parts sphagnum moss, 1 part sand. I've done many rainforest vivariums before, and I've always tried to arrange them in a natural way, with lots of leaves and pine cones. But this time, I want to try a different style. The bromeliad is arguably the signature plant of the rainforest vivarium. Some mimosa seeds. The ideal water temperature for tree frog tadpoles is between 26 to 28 degrees Celsius. Adding some river sand to enrich the details. The tadpoles finally moved into their new home. Double-checking that the water temperature is suitable.